In this video, you will learn how to create an action bar in your UI. This action bar will scale with your screen size, and also you can add here more buttons and they will be displayed and ordered nicely horizontally. So when I will extend more buttons, you can see they're added next to each other. When I will click the button, action will be called. Currently just a hello world method from Game Manager. So that's what you're going to learn in this lecture. Let's get into it. If you want to code along with me and you want to work on the same project as you see on your screens, then you need to download it. The link to the zip file is in the description of the video, and there is also a video explaining how to set up the project. This video is taken from the full course, and also if you want to see the full course, just follow the link in the description. Now let's start implementing. Action bar will be simple, just a UI panel on the bottom of our screens. When we will select an active unit that will have some actions. For example, builder. Builder can have action to build different buildings, such as towers or castles and so on. And warriors can have a different attacking modes, and these will be also actions. And these actions, when we'll click on the active unit, display as the UI bar on the bottom of our screens. So I'll select the warrior, and I will have here some option or some action for attacking, maybe here for defense, something here. Okay, so that's how it's gonna look like, much better than this that I draw, but yeah, that's what we want to have. And also for a builder, when I will select the builder, there will be maybe some icon of the tower that I can build a tower. Here will be some icon of the castle, I can build a castle, and so on. And when I will deselect the unit, this will be hidden. Okay, so let's start work on this. Now, in our hierarchy on the left side, we'll create here a new game object, but before shut down your game. Okay, let's right click here and create here UI and canvas. Okay, so all these elements will be on the canvas, and we will call it HUD, so head up display. So everything will be on the display, will be in this folder. So different menus, different panels, maybe health bars, and all of this UI will be in this component HUD. When you will double click it, this will be shown like this. So you can see this is the size of your screen currently. If I would make my screen smaller like this, and I will double click HUD in a scene view, you can see it's smaller. Okay, so this is adjusting to your screen size, your screen overlay basically. Okay, so stay here in a scene view, double click HUD, so you are here roughly centralized on it. Okay, and on the right side, as you have options, canvas, you have a screen space overlay, camera, actually the overlay can stay. But we'll go with the UI scale here, we will go constant, scale with the screen size, yeah, scale with screen size, and the reference pixels, reference resolution will set up to 1920 and 1080. That will be the reference resolution of our screen. So all of the elements will be scaled to this resolution, based on this resolution. Match width and height. So we would like to, okay, this option will adjust your elements depending on your screen size. Let's try to create one testing element. So on the HUD, right click here and create a UI and the image. Okay, so you can see how the image, and we can go also to game view. That's how the image looks like on your screen. It's just an empty square image. But when I will be scaling my screen, making it smaller, you see my image is scaling together with my image size. Okay? Because we have this option, scale with screen size. So it's scaling with my screen size, all the elements that will be in this HUD canvas. But when I will say here match 1, like this, and now I'll be changing my screen size. You can see it doesn't scale at all. Okay, so you can see it's completely matching my screen size, but it doesn't change when I will make the smaller one, smaller screen. Okay, so match 0, this completely is adjusting to this 1009. The full size of the image would be, on the reference resolution would be 1920 and 1080, and everything smaller will be scaled down. With the 1, you're going to full reference resolution, how the image would look like in this resolution, and when you will make it smaller or bigger, it will not change at all. So a good way is to put it somewhere halfway, so it'll be scaling partially. Okay, like this, for example, even bigger value, for example, 0.7. Okay, and this way it's just changing a little bit when the screen is smaller. Okay, so you don't want to overreact to the change of the elements when the screen is smaller, because then the element will be super tiny. Okay, so this out of the way, go back to scene, and this image you can remove because you don't want to create here image, but we'd like to create here, actually, I want to create image because the image will be action bar. Okay, so again, right click here on HUD, select here UI. Actually, one thing, reference pixels per unit, go with the 64. That we are going the entire course, we are going with the 64 pixels per unit. So let's keep it 64. And again, on the HUD, right click here, select here UI, and go with the image, which I just removed. Okay, and let's call it, we'll call it action bar. Action bar, like this. Perfect. Okay, now we need to place it on the bottom of our screens. So to place it, you can see this anchoring here, and this small image with this horizontal and vertical red axis. Let's click at this, and that will be how you want to anchor it. By this pivot point you see in the middle. Okay, this small blue circle in the middle of the image, you can only see it when you will select here in this right side on the panel. In the tools you have here move tool, rotation tool, and so on. But here, this tool here, rect tool, when you click it, then you can see the pivot point. Okay, this blue circle in the middle. So while the action bar is selected, select here these anchor points, and let's select here this on the bottom, like this. Okay, so now we'll be anchoring to the bottom of the canvas. And it didn't anchor because you can see the position Y on the right side here is 599 or something else, up to you. It depends on your screens. You can see when I will select this position Y, this display that it's 599 pixels from the bottom. When I will select here 0, it will be anchoring to this blue pivot point. What I can do, I can move this pivot point, so you can click at this and you can move it simply on bottom here like this. Okay? So you can see on the right side this pivot point, these coordinates of this pivot point are 0.5, and this is basically 0, so I can make it 0. So that's when the pivot is on the bottom. Again, when you change it, also your coordinates of this image change. So you can see position Y is -50. You want to change it to 0, and then it will be attached by this pivot point, anchored by this pivot point on the bottom of your screen. So you can see now we have it exactly on the bottom, and that's what we want to have. Okay, we will change just the dimensions of this. So width of this will be, let's say, 1000 pixels. It will be bigger action bar, and the height we can be slightly bigger, can be 150, and position Y we can get 75 pixels like this. So it's not that it should be Y. So Y position 75. So it looks like this. When you will go to game view, that's how your action bar looks like now. Okay, but I would like to replace it by the actual image. So you can see you have an image component, and there is a source image, which is non-sprite currently. So go to your HVO images folder here, go to UI, go to banners, and we'll be using carved 3 slides, this banner here. You can see it as the image here. But before, we will change the pixels per unit and also this. I will take a look at the other bars also. Yeah, I think... yeah, I will go with this carved 3 slides. Okay, so in the carved 3 slides, sprite, select here sprite mode single, get here 64 pixels per unit, and down here in a filter mode, select point no filter and click apply. Perfect. Now go back to your action bar and drag this carved 3 slides there to the field of your image. So drag and drop it here. Okay, and that's how it looks like. Okay, go to your game. That's how it looks like. Now I just want to display outline of this bar because I don't like the design of it that much. So I will, while the action bar is selected, I can go to the game view so I can see it actually how it looks like. I can click on the image here on the action bar, and I can get it completely black like this, and I can change its opacity to some value you like. Maybe 0.5 is good for me, or maybe even smaller. I think 0.5 was quite okay, so 0.5 here. Okay, and you can change the shade of it if you like some other colors. You can play with the values, maybe slightly bluish. All right, or this color. Okay, so whatever you prefer. I think I will just go with a complete black, so it's easy choice for me now. Okay, and we have now this action bar image background. Okay. Okay, so now in the action bar, we should have here some action buttons. Okay, so now as the child of the action bar, click on the action bar, we'll create here new UI element, and in this case, we'll create a button. Okay, so right click here, select here UI, and you will go with the button, and where is the button, I don't see it. Button, Text Mesh Pro button. This will also tell you to install this package, TMP importer, so you need to import it. Click here, import TMP essentials, and it will be imported in a second. It's a small package, so now we are done with this. We can change this button to be called action button, so click inside and call it action button. Perfect. And you can see the size of the button is not very good, but we don't care much about, oh, we care actually. Well, let's change it. Yeah, it's too small. So let me make it, we can go back to we can go to the scene view and we can see it better here. Okay, and we'll change the dimensions of this action button. So go with the actual width is quite okay. 160 is fine, but the height is not good. So 115. 115, that's what works for me. And the text instead of a button we don't need actually, so we can remove this or disable it. So I can just simply click, I can open action button, there is a text TMP, and can just simply right click it and delete it, or just hold Control or Command and backspace, and this will delete this. Background of the button will change as well. The source will change the source image here. This will be using something from UI folder buttons. Click a buttons and button disabled 9 slides. This one here, that will be the good button. Okay, so button disable 9 slides. Select this. Select here a single on the right side and 64 pixels per unit. And here filter mode, we will go point on filter, apply. Okay, now we'll select the action button and we'll drag this button disable 9 slides here as a UI sprite, and this is how it looks like now. Okay, go to the game view. That's how it will look like. Okay, back to scene view. Select your action button, and we'll create your child element to action button, which will be actually image we will be displaying on the background of this action button. So right click here, and again we'll go with the image. So UI image, and call it action image or action icon. Action icon, action image, doesn't really matter. It can be action icon. Action icon. Okay, we'll be changing your icon, but first we will change the width and the height of this. So width and the height will go with the 92, 92, 92, and 92. So it's roughly like this in the middle. Okay, of course we need to change the image of this. So we need to go to UI folder. We have here icons. No, these icons I don't want to use. Do we have something better? Ribbons, not the ribbons. So let's take a look in the folders, maybe tiny sorts and resources. Resources. Okay, we need to find some. It doesn't really matter what icon we will provide there, but I think there should be no trees, but just give me a second, I will find is what I'm looking for. And it's decoration, deco folder. So here, we'll be choosing something from here. Okay, so this pumpkin, let's say this pumpkin here, image number 13, and go with the, again, pixel size 42, single image, and we'll choose your filter, point no filter, apply. Okay, we'll click on the action image, and this pumpkin will drag there. So 13, and drag this pumpkin there. Okay, so that's our image. Okay, now we would like to have multiple icons, of course. So we can unselect this, and here, as we have an action button, we'll duplicate it. So right click here and click here duplicate, or just press Ctrl or Command D to duplicate it. And now we have action button and a copy of the action button, and you can see they are under each other. To get them ordered horizontally, we need to create horizontal layout group. So click on the action bar, and we'll add this horizontal layout group, and this way we will order horizontally our items inside. So you can see this is a container for action bar, where will be their horizontal group. Then these two action buttons that are inside of the action bar will be ordered horizontally next to each other nicely. Okay, so On action bar, click here add component and horizontal layout group like this, and you can see they are ordered nicely, but they are ordered by the top upper left corner. So go to horizontal layout group here and option, choose here middle center, and then it will be in middle like this. Still not that great, because the child force expand, you can see the childs are expanded to be full width in the container. So you want to disable this option. So you will click here child force expand and you will deselect width, and they are nicely next to each other, and in the game it will look like this. Okay, and if you now want to create more icons, so I click here on this action button 1 and I will create Ctrl D or Command D, duplicate it, they are nicely next to each other this way. Okay, I just need 2 icons to be displayed. But that's basically how you will create action bars on the UI. Okay, and you can add different now buttons here on click effects. So when I will click here plus, I can add here my game manager. Okay, and I can call the different functions from here. Okay, I can show you an example of this. So we have this action button here, and do we have some public functions in our game manager? Let's try it just for testing purposes if it works. Okay, so go to game manager, create it as a testing function. So public void test, doesn't have to be anything special here, and debug log, and write here hello world like this. Save this just to test if the buttons are working. We will not add this action to be called, this function to be called only on our first action button. Okay, so click on the action button 1, scroll down here, and here on click, just add here plus. We'll drag here this game manager game object from your scene like this, and here in the functions you'll look for a game manager, and here tests. Okay, so now when I will go into the game, I will open the console, and I will click on this icon. You can see hello world was called. Okay, so you can see now how easy you can create action bars, and they look actually nice. Okay, so yeah, now we have tested it out. Everything works, so we can continue in next lecture. Cheers.